G'day, watch this.
Bob, you have a vision of northern development, but for example, in relation to immigration, most immigrants seem to come to Sydney and Melbourne and move to the suburbs of those cities. What is the best way, and this will be my last question, what is the best way for a government to encourage northern development?
I think that you can look at some groups who are minority groups that are not being treated probably the way they should be, and I would think in terms of the Boers in Africa, and heaven only knows they've treated the Africans pretty poorly, the Afrikaners, and the Africans are getting a bit of their own back, and who could blame them? But the outcome of this is that, you know, I think that they got to sort of move out, and the Sikhs from India I find are just remarkably good citizens, and I've studied their religion, but they come to Australia and they, Australians, this is terrific, you know, they really love being Australians, and they also are a minority group that do not fare well in India, so we can help those people out, but I think there's a name for this demographic migration, you know, and if you want to come to this country, then we say that you have to live in that, and really we don't occupy this continent, we occupy a 100-kilometre golden boomerang from Cairns down to Adelaide and a little dot around Perth. Outside there's no one living here. There's under 1 million people living in an area the size of China or United States or Brazil. I mean, we're smaller than those three countries, but not a lot smaller than those three countries. And there's less than 1 million people living there. I mean, really, most of the continent, 90% of the continent, same population, not much different than when Captain Cook arrived. There were about 350,000. There's about 750,000 there now. And two great men on my wall up there, Jack McEwen and Ted Theodore, two of the great people of Australian history, both Malcolm Fraser and Paul Keating, named Theodore as one of their two heroes, and you couldn't get more unlike people than Malcolm Fraser, Paul Keating, and Bob Catter. I'm not in their class; they're important people, but on the wall. But both of those great men that were responsible for creating so much of Australia, the Labor movement in the case of Theodore, and the Country Party, and you know all our protective marketing mechanisms for agriculture in the case of McEwen, and development, both of them are responsible for massive development. And but both of them said again and again, and I'll use McEwen's words, he said, "This great treasure, which is Australia, I am afraid that if we do not occupy it, we will lose it." And I just think one definite, consistent pattern of history is a people without land will look for a land without people. And if you read the tract that was given out, as in my book, the tract that was given out to the soldiers in the Southern Army, Japanese Southern Army, it was, you know, this is empty, this is where the great resources are. It is for Japan to access those resources. We're a little country with no resources. A lot of people jammed into a tiny little area. Germany, Hitler, you read Mein Kampf, maybe every 5th page has the word Lebensraum on it, living room. You know, the German people are cramped up into a little space. We need living room, Lebensraum, quite literally translated as living room. So both of them were saying, we are a people without land. We are going to take the land without people. And there's a message there for Australia.
And on that point, Bob Catter, a strong independent voice in the Parliament of Australia and on the airwaves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor.